guys, welcome back. It was only night before last when we were talking about Dodgy that we appeared on another little chat session. So it's all happening at the minute in the watch world. How are you both?
I'm doing great.
All well, all well.
Good. I've sort of been quite busy today. I've just come back from a run and a quick shower and straight onto this session. So and we've got the England playing in the Euros to get through to semi-final late. So it's a quick sort of squeezed in session and try and get this out pretty quick because I know that our listeners are, it'd be good for them to get this information as quickly as possible. So quickly, wristwatch check. So Abdul, what have you got on tonight?
I have today the steel dive with the Kanagawa dial. It's like a homage for the Captain Willard.
Yeah,
has a fully loomed dial.
And that's the Seiko wave, is it? What's the pattern on it?
The pattern on it is called Kanagawa. It's like a famous painting in Japan.
Oh, it's like tsunami wave.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Like on the Seiko, like tsunami wave. Yeah, and doesn't that watch? Doesn't it glow or something? Doesn't like that sort of face glow?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why I bought it.
It's really good. Yeah, I like that.
The loom is pretty strong. Like I can show you the loom even now at the daytime.
Yeah,
you can
it's hard to see, but I can get the idea. Yeah, it's really good.
That's
it's a great pattern on it. Yeah, it's a really good homage, that isn't it? And that's a good link there because homage is something we're going to be talking about pretty soon as well. With some future coming episodes. So that'll be quite a good one. Peace, what have you got in?
I got my Gakoda G01 on today.
Oh, yeah.
I've switched the strap out for a Barton rubber strap instead of the simple stamped leather that it had on it originally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really good. Yeah. So I've got the same as 2 days ago. So the last thing that we did, which is the Boulder Venture Chigo. And I've got to wear it tonight because it's a sort of good luck charm for England winning the football. So if I don't wear it tonight though, and they lose, I'll blame myself. So hopefully, I had to wear it, so I've just kept it on the last few days actually, which I do tend to wear a watch for probably a week or two at a time anyway. I don't swap them. I think Abdul, you kind of change yours every day, but I commonly keep it on for probably a week at a time when I put a watch on. So excellent. So straight on to. So the two topics tonight are the Timepiece gentlemen. They use the word scandal, not us. So nobody sue us or anything. Bit of a disclaimer that this is just opinions, our own opinions, our own chat, and I think we look at it from every angle and not sort of just jump on any one side or anything. But it is completely our own opinions here. And the sort of follow-on from that is sort of looking at dodgy watch dealers. I'm not saying the Timepiece gentlemen are dodgy dealers, but it's just the second part of our chat we're going to. Did I just start by asking? Did you two watch the episode put out last night, which was 11:30 UK time, GMT 0 time? British summer time still. Did you watch that episode, guys, last night?
Nope. I was doing other stuff at the time.
Okay. Abdul, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw. I was switching back and forth from the live, and there was a reaction video from a guy called Tim, and he was posting on his channel the reaction with a couple of the guys on the video. And after that, I watched also today like a couple of reactions from other guys on the videos.
Oh right, interesting. So you can definitely bring that one into the discussion. So I know just for our viewers that think what this episode's a bit strange. We're not talking about an aspect of a watch. What's cracking off? So the Timepiece Gentleman is a YouTube channel, and it's two guys, Anthony and Marcus, which are partners, and they're sort of like I think they're great dealers. So they buy watches, expensive watches like Rolex, and I think potentially other brands, probably like Patek Philippe, but certainly more top end watches. and they seem to be wearing Richard Mille as well. So whether they buy and sell them, I don't know. I watch bits of it, but I do find it's a little bit self-centered and a bit boring. So I tend to just skim through a few episodes in the past. I'm not a big fan of the thing itself, but I know it's had a massive following. But in the last week or so, for a week, they completely disappeared from everywhere, social media and everywhere. And apparently before this, they asked a lot of people if they could put $2,000. So it's based in sort of Dallas, America, $2,000, and they wanted 1,000 people, which I think, if my maths is still any good, is about $2 million. So it's a lot of money. And I think what people got back in return was they would do, good deals on getting these watches like the Rolex, which are difficult to get, and give them, good deals and that sort of thing, was the benefit of people who donated this money. But they seem to have then suddenly disappeared. They also probably had people's watches as well. So, what happened? What was it was a complete mystery. Was the whole thing a scam to get money? So this £2 million plus people's watches. Some people even started taking out lawsuits and things. Were they lying low from the law or from gangsters? Or many people suspected it was some sort of marketing PR thing that was going on. So last night was the big reveal episode where they were going to come on their YouTube channel and reveal that. So Abdul, what did you make of their reveal? What was it all about?
They called it scandal. So what they revealed was that they were working on some kind of charity work, and that's why they disappeared, and they even had their lawyers, and it felt like a marketing video from a big corporate. When I looked at the timeline from the gentleman timepiece and how they are evolving in the watch market and how they are growing, I felt like they were. This is my opinion. If you have another opinion, anybody watching, that they were making using the technique of fake it until you make it. Yeah, they're just hyping it up, pushing it, marketing, and I felt like their audience, or like the people who like flash stuff and over exaggeration and thinking about watches not as a hobby, not as something that we love, that we share, that we care about, but as okay, I get this watch for 10,000, I give it you for 12, you make $2,000. Yeah, what do you want more? And more or less about a commodity. And the other thing is, I think they overdrafted themselves when they thought they could collect these $2 million that they were thinking about. I think that they didn't collect them all, and that's why they disappeared to look how to recuperate, to reimagine what they could do now. And I think that it was just a marketing ploy that exploded in their face, and they were just trying to correct themselves or improve themselves or do something to don't waste. Like, even when you look, when I looked yesterday on the live video, it was 3,800 likes and 3,800 dislikes.
Yeah. So, and I think certainly on previous videos of theirs, they did have a following, because there are, we're all different and we've all got different aspects of this hobby, and some people do like, wearing a flash watch, buying watches and selling more money, and and maybe we partly do that ourselves. So there's no problem there. But I think from what I remember before their previous episodes, I'm not a big follower or watcher, but they have a lot of fans, a lot of people who are putting comments on, oh yeah, Timepiece Gentleman, you're really good, and we think you're the best channel. And just like many other channels, because I suppose people who follow channels are the people who like the content, and so they're going to come on there and they're going to put loads of comments on, and they've got loads of likes and they're doing well. And then I just had a quick look at their channel before we started doing this, and there was slight, I think it was about equal or slightly more thumbs down than thumbs up. So I think you're right. It hasn't worked, has it? It has exploded. But I also went through the comments last night. This is very late last night UK time. I fell asleep at some point in time. and woke up really late. I got to bed at 2:30 in the morning, but I think about an hour and a half that I was probably asleep. But every single comment was, you know, oh, Timepiece gentlemen, we're going to stop following. This is all, you know, crap, and oh, you know, what a bunch of, you know, etc. And there was not one positive comment. Where I think if you look at older videos, you know, most of the comments were positive. But it wasn't even one person saying. There was a few. No, in all fairness, there was one or two people saying, "Oh yeah, marketing genius." Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, I was just going to tell you.
There was a couple.
They threw the genius word. I was like facepalm. You know, like how do you throw the word genius like this? Like this is just utter dumbness. You know, like in the watch community, it's all about trust. So especially if you're a great dealer. People, if they lose their trust, like the guy that from a couple of years ago, or maybe remind me, Peter, what was his name again? The guy who was selling the
Horology House.
Exactly, that's the one.
Yeah.
He never came back. He never came back. Yeah, he lost the trust. He never came back. And
so really, what I think we all agree from. It's turned out to be a little bit of a shambles. I think the other thing they said was they blacked out from social media to raise awareness. People spend too much time on social media. A lot of irony there because they're running their business through YouTube. They're using social media. They are the part of putting people to watch YouTube. Oh, people are watching too much YouTube. Well, okay, we'll all start watching you then. You know, it's like probably everyone should just start watching them, and then let's carry on with what we're doing, but just don't watch them, because when they put episodes out as well, they're like over an hour long as well. That's one of the reasons why I only watched bits of it, because this is too long anyway.
I had actually never heard of Timepiece Gentleman before this happened. And I remember I looked at like, wow, this is long videos. This is the kind of stuff that I'd put on while I'm, you know, typing or something like that.
Yeah. And I think I wind through. I started watching them just because they seem to have a lot of followers. They seem to get a lot of thumbs up and positive comments. So I thought, well, they've got a lot of, followers. They might be pretty good. So I started watching a little bit. I like the concept of maybe buying, selling, because I do like not just watches, but I do like kind of buying, selling myself to some extent. That concept, and I thought, oh, this would be quite good. But honestly, their episodes are very, very sort of about themselves. Flash watches, flash cars, sitting there eating. We're this, we're that, we're the other. Big muscles, go to the gym, and caps, and it's all very. They
cut a niche. They have a niche, and they know their not their customers and their viewers. And they know what they want.
Yeah,
they have like 100 something 100,000 subscribers, or more than 100,000 subscribers, and
a few more than us.
Definitely millions in clicks and views. But I think for me, like. I was only watching maybe 1 or 2 videos of them. I was never subscribed, but I watched the videos that they were cracking down some fake watches. Like some people came with fake Rolex or fake Wake watch, and they show it, and then they say, "Oh, this is not real," and they said to the guy back. And that's the videos I watched from them. But I watched like these parts, and I was like, yeah, you could show this, but why show the faces of the guys that came to you? And maybe he didn't know, like. Why would it be always nefarious? And the other thing, when they said about fundraising and doing things, just say 8% of the watches that I'm selling, I'm giving to charity. 5%.
Yeah, exactly.
All the watches I'm selling in the next 5 days. Come on, what I thought I thought they were rebranding, because we have the women's market, it's open.
Yeah.
So I think Adrian and Bark and Jack was going through this, and I agree with him totally that the women's market is open. I thought they would be rebranding, instead of gentlemen's timepieces, that they would be like timepieces or something like this.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Something like that would have made sense, but even then, they didn't have to just. They could have done part of that secret, but they didn't have to completely close social media. And it just seemed to time with people giving them money and things, which made people very suspicious as well. But the episode last night was some sort of strange marketing thing. you saw them doing a bit of painting and you tool. It just looked, the whole thing looked really staged. It looked like, it almost came across that there was a bit of a feeling of, oh, we can't just come here and say it was a bit, we wanted to just go away for a week and, you know, have a bit of a media blackout. They seem to think, oh, you know, I mean, they put it across that the whole thing was for charity in the first place, but I wonder if the charity bit came in just to help them get a reason. That's what it felt a little bit like.
It felt like this.
We don't know.
It felt like they totally failed them. The marketing ploy that they were doing, they were trying to generate more enthusiasm about everyone, and then they saw that everybody is negative about even their so-called friends that or not so-called, I don't know if they're friends or not, but the Roman Sharf and everyone else, they had like a live chat with Eric and everyone, and they were like, yeah, we don't know where they are, and then they was like, yeah, he's typing me on the mobile, he's saying trust me, and they even cut this video and to show it in the 1 hour video, to show it in a different perspective. So even that, I was like, oh, come on, guys. I was watching it live, so I know what's the context. Don't try to, like, I hate it when people, it was one word they could solve it. Say, I'm sorry, it's our mistake. It was not our intention to do this, but this happened. The money is safe, everything is safe. Instead, they came, oh, we did it for charity. You should donate to us.
It's like, oh, everyone else should probably, you know, come off social media and they should spend more time doing this like we've done, and you should follow us, and, you know, we're setting an example for you, and it just didn't work. I mean, like I say, I fell asleep after a bit. It got so boring, so much about them and their ego and everything. So
sorry, Peter, you were saying something?
When I first heard about this whole situation and I looked into it more, I thought, this is definitely a marketing stunt, and it's one of the dumbest I've ever seen, especially out of Dallas. Because maybe in Vegas or LA, there's this very flashy kind of idea would make more sense.
Yeah.
But Dallas, not so much.
Yeah, definitely. What I mean, what's your thoughts on these type of people? Like, well, you know, I don't mean that in a bad way, but the sort of grey market dealers. What is the effect they're having on the watch market? Are these the people that are, you know, some of them sort of Rolex watches, which might be, say, £8,000, but on the grey market, they're 12, 13, 14,000 pound or whatever, or even more, like double, 16,000 pound. Is it people like them? Because it just seems that they, you know, Anthony's walking around with this Richard Mille on, and they're costing up to about £500,000. You know, he's only been doing this for 3 years. So is he making so much money because, you know, he can get these Rolex watches at, you know, market price or less and be selling them at double the value? But then surely the people that are following that channel are the sort of people that want flashy Rolexes and things, and he's making money off them. Is that not true?
I think it's more or less true, but I think it's just sorry, Peter, you were saying something?
I was gonna say I can't say I necessarily agree with his taste. Richard Mille is some of the ugliest ways to spend $500,000 I've ever seen.
But I've got to say, if I had enough money, I probably would buy Richard Mille. So just to try and balance opinions a little bit there for our viewers. But yeah, it's just like anything, it's subjective, isn't it? That you know.
Yeah, Richard Mille is, for me, Richard Mille is the watch that if you're a fan of Formula One, and that you can buy a Formula One team, so that's the watch for you. If you have the budget to,
there's a big link there because they've done a lot of branding through Formula One.
Yeah, they came out from Formula One. All the designs came out. They started there by branding there, and there are a lot of special editions. Kimi Raikkonen, one of them, one of my favorites. but they're basically a watch machine, not a wristwatch that shows people that you can pay millions of dollars for something as banal as a wristwatch. For me, I would rather have a grand complication from Patek Philippe with that money. 100%. But I know if I had the money like you, Dean, like if I had that amount of money to buy these watches comfortably, I think I would buy it also. Like I think I would buy. I wouldn't buy the most expensive one, but I would buy just one to have one. You know. Like
I think that's where I fit as well. So, you know, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to get a handle on, you know, what impact they have on the watch world as their job role. They've got to be where they're making the money from.
Exactly. No, I think also I watched a lot of other watched videos the last couple of days before they announced it, and they were all like, most of them were saying that this hurt us. Like Federico was saying like this is bad for us, this hurt us. I think a couple of other guys were saying like, I got like customers saying, is the watch safe? Because in consignment you send the watch to the dealer and you don't have any kind of legal obligation then. And if the dealer takes the watch and goes to you, and then you're the one who sent it to him by your own apparel, you didn't expect anything in return until you sell them. So
interestingly, I don't know how true this is, but I have heard, and I'm not sure if I've directly seen this in an episode, but people obviously sending watches into them, and somebody said that, you know, like when you watch Timepiece Gentlemen, some of the, you know, maybe the sales staff, whatever, they're all going out for expensive meals and they're actually wearing these watches that people have sent in. So you can imagine watching an episode and thinking, oh, I'm sure that's my Rolex or something.
Yeah.
It won't be too pleasant, would it, really?
I've seen doing that.
You've seen it happen, yeah. Yeah. So
I could easily see that happen.
Yeah, I suppose it's like when when your car goes into the garage for a couple of days to have something done, and they obviously have to take it on you know, they have to obviously test it. You know, if you had something, you know, done to the car, they give it a little drive.
A on the side.
But yeah, quite often, you know, they actually sort of, their test drive is to go back to their house, you know, 5 or 6 miles away, have lunch and come back again. So they're running around your car. It's sort of like, oh, I'll just test this Rolex, you know, we'll take it out for a posh meal, you know, and they're actually on video doing that. I'm not sure I'd like that sort of attitude.
No, if I sent my watch to them and I saw it wearing them in a video, I would be really pissed off, to be honest.
It's
but I would totally see it like Peter as well.
Yeah,
I can truly see it
because
it's easy if you have a watchmaker on site and you take the watch, and even if you scratch it, you give it to the watchmaker, he polishes it out as brand new. No one will know.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? You don't really want that. Your precious, you know, and these watches,
it's ethics, I think,
expensive. Expensive watches, you know.
I think it's more or less about the ethics of people. Like some people have ethics and they stick to them, even if they stay small watch dealers selling a couple of watches every month. Some others don't have. I'm not saying that all the people that sell watches, big dealers, don't have it, but I'm saying some small ones and some big ones don't have it. And most of the people that I came across did work with ethics and did make me feel comfortable buying from them watches, because it's an expensive hobby. It's not something that you're buying a flashlight for a couple of euros or something that even if it broke, you're like, okay.
I think it's nice, you know, if we're talking about a watch car or anything, that when you take your precious item in, that you do look after, you treat, you know, very carefully, that people are respecting that and they're treating it carefully. And, you know, and I think that's part of the service that I think is nice, isn't it, to expect? And, you know, and it goes right through the attitude of people and everything. But apparently they were abusing that a little bit. I don't know. I mean, shall we go on to talk about dodgy dealers?
I think that's a good.
I got a good one for us.
Yeah, go on, Peter. Yeah.
Horology House. We mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
This was a guy out of Australia, and he sold a Daytona to a guy who needed it. He was gonna, I think he worked for like an oil company or something. He was gonna move to, I think, Bahrain or something for his job or whatever. And so he was gonna be gone for 6 months. So the guy buys the watch, gets a tracking number that doesn't work. The watch doesn't arrive. And there's a back and forth. You can find there's a paste bin about this with all of the messages back and forth. But for about the next few months, it's them going back and forth trying to get a watch. And throughout the whole thing, this guy is just filled with excuses. Every couple of minutes, or every couple of messages, he's coming up with another excuse for why he didn't respond for like a day and a half. I was on the plane, or I just came back from a trip, or I couldn't ship it because I was out and I forgot to leave my wife the safety deposit, like that. He would say all the time. The worst excuse was when he claimed that his parents' house burned down and then sent a picture he'd pulled from Google image search. So that was one of the things he did.
Oh yeah.
When a Daytona finally arrived, the guy compared it with a friend's genuine Daytona and found it to be fake. And so this started another thing about getting his money back. He eventually did get his money back. But after that, it was found that like 5 other people had gotten fake watches from him. And he pretty much had to disappear. He left all of the Australian watch trading things he was in. He left YouTube. His social media got nuked.
Yeah.
And
wasn't he quite big on YouTube as well? Wasn't he one of the real big channels? And it wasn't he like a channel that people really respected as well?
Yeah, I think
he was
over
one of the bigger ones,
right?
Yeah, mostly for his macro photography skills. He actually, ironically, had done videos on how to tell a fake Rolex.
Yeah. That was his best watched videos, yeah.
That was the first ones he took down, actually.
You can almost imagine as he was making them videos, he was starting to get ideas. He could have almost give people false information in them videos so that people wouldn't recognize.
This is the real one.
You can only tell.
It looks like this.
Yeah, exactly. If it's got Sunset written on it, it's definitely a Rolex. And they're the fake ones that he's got. That he's doing. Which would make it particularly hard for people to be educated through him and then recognize fakes.
Yeah.
So
and also when it came time to give the money back, and this is only like a few weeks, so if you're gonna tip for people selling, don't spend the money until you know that the customer has received the product. Just generally good advice right there. But just the attempts of weaseling out on everything that he did was just absolutely awful. If you read through the Pastebin article.
Do we know why he needed the money? Was it particular? Was it just to get his family comfortable? Was he into drugs? Was he just greedy? Was there a particular reason why he was trying to make all this money?
I don't know. There has been rumors that he may have had a gambling problem.
Right.
Another thing though, this is not the first time I've heard of dealers in luxury items sort of selling an item that doesn't exist to get a short-term loan. There was an Omaha exotic car broker who pulled that with a Lamborghini Aventador in order to flip.
Yeah, I guess if you get like a huge amount of money, you can trade them in some kind of market, make some money, and then even when after 6 months, they want their money back. Here is your 20,000. I already made 10,000 over this 20,000 from the money that you gave me.
Yeah.
It's not the way to go, is it? But I think I'm guessing these are the 2 real biggest cases that we've had through sort of people who've had YouTube channels.
As far as I know.
Yeah, I guess there was rumors before, but I guess I don't know the correctness of the rumors that was one before, so I cannot say anything about them. But there were rumors about other big channels before in the past, which are still there. So that's why I think there were rumors only, because if it was something like this, it would have been like these cases that we are seeing, that they disappear and people come out on Reddit, on Facebook, on Twitter, on everywhere, and saying, hey, this guy is a scoundrel, this guy scammed me of my money. So thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to follow Dean and his channel, Peter has a channel, and me and my channel, and comments down below for questions. And what do you think about the topic of the day, the two topics? Please also comment down below and answer. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks guys.